1 Kings 21 1-23, through the Bible. Chapter 21. Theme: Ahab and Naboth's vineyard. The chapter before us is a page out of the lives of the wicked king and queen of Israel, Ahab, and Jezebel, which reveals their covetous and ruthless characters. Naboth's vineyard is coveted by Ahab. And it came to pass after these things, that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. 1 Kings 21:1. A few years ago I was in Samaria, and I must confess that it is one of the most beautiful spots in the land of Palestine. You can stand on the hill of Samaria where Ahab and Jezebel's palace stood. Omri built it, and you can see Jerusalem to the south, the valley of Esdraelon and the Sea of Galilee to the north, the Jordan River on the east, and the Mediterranean Sea on the west. It is a beautiful view on all four sides. There are not many places like that. If I were living in that land, that would be the spot where I would like to have my home. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or, if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. 1 Kings 21 2-3. Naboth had a vineyard in this area. And as I stood on that beautiful hill, I wondered what side it was on. We do know it was nearby. And with as lovely a palace as Ahab had, you would think he would be satisfied. But, no, he wants that vineyard. Naboth does not want to sell it for the very simple reason that the vineyard is his patrimony. It is what God had given to his ancestors, and it had been passed down from father to son. But now here is a king who wants it, and it takes a pretty brave man to turn him down. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. 1 Kings 21:4. Ahab doesn't get his way, so he goes home and pouts like a little boy. Ahab, wicked as he is like a spoiled brat and won't eat now because he cannot have what he wants. He can't have that vineyard. Jezebel's murderous plot to obtain Naboth's vineyard. Ahab did not have any ideas about how to get Naboth's vineyard, but Jezebel did. I can assure you that she is going to work out something that will enable her husband to get it. But Jezebel his wife came to him, and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise, and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. 1 Kings 21 5-7. Jezebel was absolutely masculine in her manner. She was a dominant and domineering woman. I would have been afraid of her myself, I must confess. She is a wicked woman, and she is going to get the vineyard. She contrives a nice little plot and arranges to have two lawless men witness against Naboth. They say that he blasphemed God and the king. Naboth is then carried out of the city and stoned to death. Can you think of anything more unjust than this? Well, it has happened many times in the history of the world. Many times the man on top who is everything has taken advantage of the little man. Naboth was stoned to death. Did Ahab get by with it? My friend, you don't get by with sin. I don't care who you are, the day will come when you are going to have to settle up. And the day came when Ahab had to settle up. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned, and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, to take possession of it. 1 Kings 21 15-16. So Jezebel came in and announced to her husband Ahab, Naboth is dead, and you can have the vineyard. It looks like Ahab has gotten by with this wickedness, doesn't it? No, God has a man there. Thank God that there is a man around who will declare the word of God. Ahab's and Jezebel's doom is predicted. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed, and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs licked the blood of Naboth shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. 1 Kings 21:17-19. Remember that God has said, Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Galatians 6:7. If you and I could speak with men from the past, whether they were God's men or Satan's, they would tell us that this is an immutable law of God, it cannot be changed. Jacob found out the truth of this law. Pharaoh of Egypt, who killed the little Hebrew boys, thought he got by with his crime, but one day he found that his firstborn was dead. David committed an awful sin, but he did not get by with it. The same thing he did came back to him. Saul of Tarsus was a leader in the stoning of Stephen, but there came a day in Asia Minor, at Antioch of Pisidia, when he was stoned and left for dead. The fact of the matter is that he was dead, and God raised him from the dead. Now here is the judgment that is pronounced on Ahab and Jezebel. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. 1 Kings 21:21-22. God says to Ahab, I'm removing your house. Your line will not reign here. Now God is not through. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. 1 Kings 21:23. Both of these judgments very definitely come to pass.